Forgive us our trespasses, we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, yeah. They want to think of the chill. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Ms. Miller,
Here.
Ms. Harris,
Present.
Mr. St. Columbia,
Present.
Mr. Etherly,
Here.
Ms. Davis,
Here.
Dr. Miller, 5 present, 1 absent. Mr. Mayor, Madam Clerk, Mr. City Attorney, and members of the City Council. On today's agenda, we have on the section 6, we got an A, B, D, E, and F. Mr. Andrew Shears is listed, Ms. Paula Oliver. I believe Mr. Jerry Lamar has been moved to August. Honorable Judge Jason Carter for 2 different requests, and Ms. Lenora Marshall. Is Mr. Andrew Shears? Okay. Mr. Andrew Shears, come forward.
Good afternoon,
Evening.
to the mayor and all distinguished members. I'm here on a vicious dog. I'm having problems. I walk the neighborhood, where I live on Springdale. And each way I went, I've been attacked by, dogs and, pit bulls. And several times cars had to save me from the pit bulls, drive on to keep the dogs away from me. So I just wanted, I know we don't have a dog catcher anymore, so I think something needs to be done, about these vicious dogs. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. The council has any? And these dogs on Springdale Road? Yes. Okay, all right. All right, next is item 6B. Ms. Paula Oliver, president of Delta Dog, seeking funding from the city for spay and neuter clinic. I got in quotation word funding, because the note that I had said donation, and the city is not authorized under the Arkansas Federal Constitution or any state statute to donate anything. You can pay a fee for a service. So as she comes, have that in mind, and please do not use the word donation. Ms. Oliver?
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here again. It's been a while since I've been here, and things have changed just a little bit with our Friends of the Delta Dog organization. Because when we first came before you, the city had an animal control program, and they had an employee, and they were doing rescues, and we were trying to assist the city in getting those dogs vaccinated and treated medically so that they could be transported to other parts of the state or of the country. Well, obviously that changed because the city decided not to continue the animal control program. So Friends of the Delta Dogs decided to shift their focus to the root of the problem, which is to spay and neuter as many of these stray cats and dogs as we possibly can. And so that's what we've been trying to do since the first of the year, basically. And just to let you know, there are still some dogs who were rescued when the city still had an animal control program that are being fostered, that are still being treated and taken care of. So we're still trying to get those dogs moved, but we're not actively rescuing dogs at this particular point. So just to give you an idea, it cost about $130 to get a dog, an animal spayed and neutered and with rabies vaccinations. With the coupons that we receive from the Bissell Pet Foundation, that is reduced by $60. So it becomes much more affordable for the individual or a nonprofit to take care of that. And like I said, that includes spay, neuter, and rabies. So since the first of the year, Friends of Delta Dog and cats, we got to add cats now because we have actually taken care of 6 cats and 25 dogs. Now, what we are asking from you all is something that is already in the line item budget for $5,000 for animal control and medical treatment for those animals. Now, with that $5,000, we could treat approximately 83 dogs, which could go a long way in helping with the stray population of dogs. So some of the things that we're doing, we are in the process of establishing partnerships with other organizations around the country to help rescue, transport, and treat dogs and cats. So that's something that we're doing. We have attended several different events throughout the region, different places around the region. And we will continue to do that. Some of these events are adoption events, and some of them are simply just to make them aware, make the citizens aware of what we're trying to do. Now, in July of next year, we will have a 3-day event with a mobile vet unit, that mobile vet clinic that will come here. These are the same people that used to come several years ago when we had the clinics down at St. John's Episcopal Church. They will do this for three days and at low cost or hopefully no cost to some of the participants. So we're looking at all the different options that we have, and we have merchandise that we have for sale. We plan to have a major fundraising event before the end of the year, and so we're just hoping that the council will look upon this as a service to the community and to the council, because since the city doesn't have an active animal control unit program, so we can take up some of the slack, and if we can get dogs spayed and neutered and some cats, then that will go a long way towards solving the problem that we have. So that's what I'm asking, is the $5,000, which is in the budget for animal control and medical care. So thank you very much.
So do we need a motion for that? Because I take care of 2 cats
Mhm.
at the bistro. And I only had 2 cats in the winter. Well, they both had kittens this summer. So now I have a lot of kittens and 2 cats, 3 cats. male cat behind the restaurant. So I'd like to, whatever I can do to help support that, definitely like to do that.
Okay,
So if we need a motion on the floor for that, I'd like to motion for that.
I'll second that motion.
Ms. Harris made a motion to, fund $5,000.
Would this be for a year or how does that?
well, probably because the budget is set up for a year. Yeah,
I think it's great that we got people outside that'll handle this thing for us, for the city, and that does a great service. I own a cat and a dog. and
Right.
Both of them are spayed
right.
and neutered. I'd second your motion.
Mr. St. Clair, second motion in discussion.
Think the city attorney is gonna tell you the contract.
Yes, you need a contract to do so, but we can draw up a contract. Y'all can give preliminary approval for us to, for the mayor to enter into a contract with $5,000. The city is authorized by state law to be able to spay and neuter animals. And so we can contract with anyone else to do that purpose if we're not doing it. And so we can do a contract authorizing the mayor to sign the contract with them for up to $5,000. From now to the end of this year. Is that what you all are saying?
That's just a one-time $5,000.
But I'm saying,
Yes.
contract terminates December 31st.
The contract is so it's not a because we can't give them a donation, but the contract makes it a.
Right.
Contract.
They're performing a duty that the city otherwise would perform.
Right.
Because the city is not performing, you can contract with a third party to do those things, and it wouldn't be a donation.
Okay.
So if y'all approve it, then I'll draft the contract and the mayor sign it,
Okay.
and we'll go from there.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Ms.
That-
Miller, Yes. Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia.
Yes.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
5 yes, 1 absent.
Mr. Valley, before you come up, we need to talk about something that's very important. We talk about water. Water.
Mr. Mayor, before you do water, can I address what Mr. Shears, since we were talking about
Yes.
animals, nobody said anything, but his presentation was about vicious animals, and we have an ordinance that allows us, do we have somebody on staff who can go out and pick up vicious animals?
Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I just want people to know that vicious animals don't have to be housed. We can pick them up and
Do
They
you
can
have a
be-
number that we can,
I don't know, and that's why,
Call the
number?
sanitation department.
870-572-5665.
Did you get notes to Shears?
okay.
What,
But man, you got water on your agenda,
yeah,
and so is the Judge Carter here?
No, he want us to discuss it, he want us to discuss the two matters and go forward.
Okay, well, Miss Lenora Marshall is here,
Yes, sir.
and so it's set up so that your guests don't have to sit through your long discussion, but the water might be lengthy.
I was just stating a matter of fact.
I'm talking to the man. Cause he said go to water.
yeah, I'm trying to get water taken care of.
So at this time, we go to 6F. Ms. Lenora Marshall, Justice of the Peace, she has the event permit request.
Good evening.
Evening.
Will you pass those out for me to each of them? Honor to all of you in your respective places. I want to thank you for giving me this privilege to come before you this afternoon. As it has been stated, my name is Lenora Marshall, and I'm with the One Nation, One Project Phillips County cohort team. And the purpose of my being here is to seek official permission to block off the street in front of the courthouse for Saturday, July 27th, our festival. And if you would observe the papers that you have before you, that gives you detailed information about the festival. And we would like for the streets to be blocked off on the 26th after working hours. I promise not to be before you long. After working hours on the 26th, so we can set up, get everything ready. And that will go until the 27th on the actual day, 6 o'clock. That's so that we will have an opportunity to get everything clear. I spoke earlier with Judge Hall, who gave me permission for his jurisdiction. And I talked with Ms. Ramsey, who put me on the right track and gave me a sense of direction to let me know who I needed to talk to. So I'm here hoping that we can get your support. And if there's any questions that you have, I'd be glad to answer.
Have you filled out the forms necessary to the city?
It's in your packet.
Yes, sir.
In your packet.
Oh, it's in the packet. Okay.
I have a question. You said street and you said streets. Could you be more specific of what area you're asking?
The street we are talking about is right in front of the courthouse. And that will probably entail the area of down where Machinery is, up to this street that's out in front of this building.
So you're saying Cherry Street?
Yes, sir, Cherry Street.
So will
Okay,
you
I
need
see.
any of Perry blocked off?
I don't think none other than the area right there at the courthouse where Perry is running parallel here. I don't think we need another portion.
Yeah.
Is that Porter Street? Okay. Oh, yes.
Right, but I was
So from
asking, did
Porter
you
to
need-
Perry,
Does she need any of Perry? I know she's.
but just right here by the courthouse would be the area.
So you're only talking of Cherry Street from between Perry and Porter?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if you notice the back of the program on the 28th, we have churches collaborating with us. This is the list that will be in attendance on that Sunday of follow-up. And we're using the theme, "There's no place like home." And we welcome other churches who would like to be in collaboration with us as well. It's just you inviting people to your church on that Sunday.
With all respect, I make a motion that we approve her request.
Ms. Saint,
I second.
Ms. Saint, to move There's No Place Like Home Festival on Saturday, July 27th at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mrs. Harris seconds the motion as that.
A practical question before you go forward. The copy that I have does not have the signatures of the department heads. Has department heads signed off?
Yes, they've all signed. Chief Bell hasn't been able to get by, but he told me verbally it would be great. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Ms. Davis.
Yes.
Dr. Miller, Ms. Harris.
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia.
Yes.
6 yes.
All right, we go back to 6D and E, that's Judge Jason Carter's 2 requests. I guess the city attorney is gonna present those.
The first request was relating to a new hire for the district court clerk. Judge Carter gave me a notice and the mayor a notice about the salary. And this. And he's quoted the state statute, he gave us notice after the hiring, I'm saying.
Well, I want to just clear, I didn't get a notice they were hiring anybody over there until the person showed up. And I was at the league 1 week and I was at the trial program the next week. I come back, they hired a new person. So we're gonna get that out there clearly.
Yeah. Well,
The judge said they advertised the position. I knew nothing about it being advertised. I come back to City Hall. There's a new person in that position. And I think that if the city has to pay for that position, any raises, we got other people standing in line for raises and we cannot afford it. And I'm not supporting any raises for anybody.
okay. Now, as it relates to state law, based on the conversation with the mayor, I did talk to HR. HR said that she didn't publish it, but she talked to the former court clerk who published it, and they published it at Workforce. So it was published for the records of time, is what HR informed me. As it relates to the salary itself is dictated by state law, not local ordinance. As we had a lengthy conversation, for those of you all who were not familiar when Mayor Smith was here, about the authority of the mayor versus the district court judges relating to the staff in that office. At the time, we had a lawsuit that was pending, but is not pending anymore because the people are deceased at this point. But the federal court, as well as the state statute, says that the district court employees are the employees of the judge, but the city is required to pay the salaries. And so the city is required to pay the salaries relating to the individuals that are in a district court clerk's office. The judge is compelled to ensure that they follow all of the city's personnel policies and ordinances. But they're the judge's employees, they're state employees, though the city is duty bound to pay them. What Judge Carter is quoting is the statute relating to a salary. The statute says that no deputy clerk can make more than the clerk. And that's state law. And so he's bringing the person in and says that he desires for them to be paid, I think it was $46,000.
Okay. So what's the highest?
It's on page, it looks like 3 of 31.
So what's the next highest paid person? What is their salary?
I don't know what the next highest paid person salary is.
think it's 42 and 40.
Now,
So-
He got $40,019 in his memo.
So
It's on page 3 of 31. He's asking for 42.
so what's the? What I know it's a wish of the body, but I'm gonna say this. I know the judge has the right. I'm not fighting against none of that, but I think as a good faith matter, when somebody's being hired, the mayor should be a part of that. I don't care who was hired, but I think all this happened. I came back to work. There's a new person in the building. I'm pretty sure that we should have gave me some kind of notice or said, hey, listen, if it went to human resources, it should have stopped by the mayor's office. But when I was at the league and then went to the drive convention the next week, I come back and here we are. I just think that, do we open it up? Because the former clerk was going to train this person. They choose who they want to choose, but let's make sure that we open up the scope that everybody could apply. I'm not upset about it. I just think that if you're going to hire somebody, you include the mayor, the city attorney, or whoever. I know that's the judge's decision, but you hire somebody, and I have to say, okay, we're gonna pay him. I mean, that's just my take on it. I'm not upset, but whenever we do something, we should do it in decent and in order. Everybody should know. It wasn't posted. I didn't know, and it's kind of like those things that people said, "Oh, the trust issue." And that was one of the issues that when they decided to hire a officer, they posted it. They informed us. Am I correct, Ms. Ram? They informed me and Ms. Ram they was gonna hire somebody at the door. But as it came to a deputy, a clerk, no. So I think if we around this table, we all want honesty and fairness. We want to know what's going on. And I think that's part of it. You hire somebody, then you say, oh, I want you to pay it. I have no problem with whatever your wishes are. I would respect your wishes, but we need to always be open to everybody. So it's my take on it. And I have nothing against anybody, but I just want to be fair. and consistent. So I mean, it's up to the body if y'all wanna make a motion to give the 42, whatever your wishes are.
I think the issue is, we either have to raise the new clerk or lower the deputy clerk. And I don't think anybody's suggesting that we lower the deputy clerk. But the last clerk was making, what, like 45 or 46?
Even though,
Yeah, that's what, I think the last clerk would make 46.
But it takes an amendment to the base pay ordinance because the base pay sets it at 36, and now you have a deputy that's above 36, so. The choice is to change the base pay or change the employee who's making. Or it means you have to reduce his salary below 36.
so I'm guessing you,
I mean, I'm not suggesting that we reduce anybody's salary who's already there.
so you raise the clerk to 42?
I mean, the city attorney's gonna have to do a base pay ordinance. So,
Well, I think the thing about it too, though, is this. Base pay ordinance is local law,
Mhm.
but state statute is state statutes. I mean, state statute will trump out.
well, yeah, so it's gotta be raised regardless.
So is there a motion?
3.3, let me,
So I wanna recommend.
I'm trying,
Raise it.
state statute is listed in here, 1617-106, it's on page 3
Yes.
of it. I was trying to look at the city's personnel manual.
Off.
Well, our city policy says the event of a job opening, position and positions openings will be announced and posted in the Daily World or other newspaper, periodical, general and regular circulation within the city limits with the 10 days prior to deadline for receiving applications. Copies of the job announcement will be distributed to city departments as appropriate to the public and private employee agencies, local newspapers, and other sources that might recruit applicants. Recruitment resources will be notified at least 10 days prior to predetermined cutoff date for received applications.
And see, nobody.
That's what the city policy says.
And to that, Mr. Valley, no one in the city was notified that the position was even open.
I was asked that question just in candor because employee asked me right before the meeting about job posting. And employees stated that they didn't know that the job was even open. And so that's why.
So
that's
look like,
statute.
you know, like we need to correct this because we headed down the street for some trouble.
I mean, if it needs to be published, then it needs to be published.
So,
Well, it's two options.
Mhm.
I just want to be candid and about both options.
Mhm.
As it relates to a job position, the city council can take two positions. The city council can require it to be published, or the city council can issue a one-time waiver if it so chooses. You did that one time relating to, I don't know, the fire department relating to some position once. But that's those are the two options that you have before you now.
In what time span, the waiver?
today,
No, I'm talking about the waiver, like you said, we did.
On this specific job posting, you all have the authority to dispense with the policy, but you'd have to vote on a one-time waiver if you're doing so. If you want it to be published, then you'd have to require the judge to publish it. Those are the two options.
I just let them do the one-time waiver. I say let them have the one-time waiver. I mean, is it really gonna be that much of a difference?
But it's up to city council to make the determination.
We end up back at this point. Yeah, I guess what you're saying is we'll end up right back at this position if he decided who he wants to hire.
Yeah, I decide who wants to
and
hire.
I understand it, but you know, what kind of, this is my thing, what do you say to the people who want to apply for this job, who didn't even know? that, you probably won't think about that. People who wanted to apply for this job was told that I'm not good. I didn't even know. I was told at the end of the year that the person may be retiring at the end of the year, and a job will come up. So I was told. To get back a couple of weeks ago, I told we got a new clerk. So some people around town probably want to know, hey, this job is open, would like to apply. I understand the judge has chosen who he's chosen, but you all.
So Mayor, if they have to publish this job and other people know about this job, okay, judge, if he likes this person, then and he's the one doing the hiring, then
He's the person doing the hiring.
Right.
That's,
we'll probably still end up back here.
But at least you did publish it because you got some people your old clerk is still coming and training the new clerk. And you have people who probably who know this job, at least want to see what you can get. That's just me. If you surprise me and say, hey, here's a new person, you're like, well, wait, I didn't know it was open. My thing is, let's be fair about this. I mean, the person's picked, that's fine. But that's who we picked. Let's advertise it and see what we get. See what he gets. You're paying two people still. As a contract, the old clerk gonna come in and teach the new clerk. Then when the old clerk leaves, who in the department, who else is some people in the department probably still have to help. Let's be fair and consistent. I mean, you all, I mean, it's a decision is you all. But I'm just saying that. So whatever the wish of the body decides, I respect, but I just want to put that out there so you all know what it is. So I'm not gonna hide it. I'm just gonna tell you what's out there. You have some qualified people who didn't know the job was open, who probably wanted to apply for the job, and they got told, hey, no, when Ms. Ramsey, when I came back, what happened? There's a new clerk, right?
Yeah.
When I was told, they was waiting till I went out of town because they didn't want me to know. What I was told. So I believe that we should give everybody the door open, give everybody a fair shot. Whoever wants it, wants it. If you still choose the person, at least we did our part. We advertised the job. So what's the wishes of the body? Would you like to advertise with a one-time waiver? What would you like to do? It's up to you all. I just want you all to know my perspective of it. You all need some more time, we can table it or whatever you want to do.
I mean, I don't have a preference because I think since he makes the decision solely on his own, I think he's already decided. And I mean, just practically, I understand what you're saying. I want all the positions to be advertised, but now we'll be advertising a position and then people will think that they have a chance and they'll apply and then I'll pick a
Right.
person.
At this point, the question becomes, is it just window dressing?
Right.
Because if the judge has made up his mind, that's why it's been good for him to be here to speak for himself. But if it's just window dressing, why you drag those people through that process? By the same token, they should have been allowed to participate in the process in the first place. But that's not where you are.
And I understand.
That's the question is, can you fix it at this point? And to your description, window dressing, we can fix it by window dressing, but
I just think there's a very unhealthy pattern that goes on in this city with hires, waivers. To me, and this is my perspective, that we don't do a real good job with being very transparent with hires, who we want on a job, the whole process of looking for people for jobs. We don't advertise the way we're supposed to. We don't do the whole process. And then here we go, we meet at a point where we're even having to have this discussion. It's an unhealthy pattern in this town.
Well, Ms. Miller, we have advertised any job that comes up from City Hall, we advertise that job. We've advertised every job there is. From what I see on this side, if we haven't advertised, tell me what we haven't advertised, and I'm pretty sure we have.
We've advertised for every job.
Yes.
Okay.
And let me say this for the record, because I'm in and out of the courtroom every week. I didn't find out we had a new clerk until this morning. It was my first notice that we had a new clerk. However, I'm just trying to be practical.
When a job comes open, we used to publish with workforce until workforce closed January 1st of this year. So, Madam Clerk, we always have posted, am I correct? We post every job, so I don't worry about thinking that this is a horse and pony show. We advertise any job there is. I don't know what we're looking for, but when we decide to hire, when they decide to hire whoever for security, it was posted at workforce. So, I mean, I'm gonna always be honest and transparent because my wife or sister or brother, but not one of the people. So we in the clerk just informed we still posted workforce. But this job one person posted at workforce with.
I think the city attorney said it was, but we do still post the workforce, even though it's closed, post out of family.
So the issue is, what would you all like to do? It's solely up to you all. I just stated my position. I respect whatever decision you all make because it is up to you all, not me. So if you all decide a waiver or to post a job, that is entirely up to you all.
I mean, I think that, to echo Ms. Miller, I think that in this case, considering he's gonna be the sole person, it's mostly gonna be window dressing. Let's go ahead and give him the waiver, but moving forward, I agree with Ms. Miller. Let's be more transparent in our hires. Because Mayor, in all fairness and no disrespect, there have been many people that showed up here that, oh, I heard so-and-so is working in this. Oh, when was this job posted? Oh, I heard so-and-so was working this job. When was this job posted? There's been a lot of hires that have come through that I wasn't aware that there was any type of posting at all.
Can you tell me a name?
I don't want to name names. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't want to name names, because I don't have anything against the people. And nor do I, some of them probably are doing a great job. It's just, I was not aware that any of those jobs were posted.
The job.
It's just they showed up and boom, they were in a job, they were in a position. And that's not only echoing me, but that's things I've heard from people out in the community. It's okay, well, when was this job posted? I didn't have a chance. So it's been a lot of jobs that have come past that people didn't have an opportunity to apply for, they didn't know about. So I think for us to try to pull that card now is not fair. I think what we should do is now that you brought that conversation up, let's now moving forward, let's have a greater transparency in our hiring.
Yes.
So the hiring and firing is I have the exclusive right to hire and fire.
You do have exclusive right to,
But
you do
if-
have
if-
exclusive
if
right
the
to
job is
hire.
If I
Yeah.
post a job, then
Yeah.
I
But you do have to post it, don't
but
you?
and I always post it. The clerk just informed me that every job.
Okay, so what's the process then? When those jobs are posted, where are they posted to?
They're posted at Workforce Services.
Okay.
They're supposed to be posted according to personnel manual. I'll read it again.
I mean, because people have been hired for positions I didn't even know existed.
It's an
I
individual.
didn't know we had a
job.
grant writing position. Now, I think
But
people put in those
but-
positions are well
but-
competent,
but
but to my knowledge, we
that's
didn't
not-
have a grant writing
That's
position.
not a position.
Okay,
That's what you all call.
okay.
Actually, it's a
Okay,
secretary
then.
position.
Okay.
So that's.
Another secretary? How
Yeah,
many secretaries we gonna hire?
Well,
We got like three or four secretaries.
whatever it is, whatever. it is-
secretaries got
what-
secretaries.
No, it's not that. Well, if you look in your budget, you all have a budget to look in your budget, you'll see under human resource, there's a secretary position. That's what they call a grant writer, but it's not. It's a secretary. It's in your budget. And I make sure that I'm always honest with y'all. So
So it's an
yeah.
admin assistant position.
if you look in your budget.
I mean, I don't doubt that it's going.
Okay, so because
I'm just saying.
I'm not here to
There hasn't
say,
been clarity
yeah, but that's
all the way around.
Right,
I'm just
but-
saying, moving forward.
people gave
moving
that a
forward.
name. I didn't, so it's a secretary. If you look up under human resources, you'll see a secretary position,
Yes,
and
sir.
that's what it is. But people dressed it up as a grant writer. I've never told you we had a
Yes,
grant
sir.
writer.
Honestly.
So that's what people have said that.
And we probably need a grant writer. I mean, I'm not arguing against that.
And I understand.
Nor am I saying that person in position is not competent, because I believe she is. I'll say that for the record. The point I'm just making is a lot of positions come open that that I was not aware of even existed.
The one thing that I suggest strongly is that HR, the mayor's office, and all department heads follow the city policy. If you're gonna do the waiver, as part of it, I would ask that you state in the waiver that this is a one-time waiver and that all positions going forward should follow 3.3 job postings.
That's all I'm asking.
And before you all do that, now let's since we want to be honest, Hansberry is replacing Hansberry.
Mhm.
Did you all know that?
I don't even know any of
So,
those.
so,
I know
so,
neither one of those
but
people.
you do know another Hansberry is a sister-in-law is replacing a sister-in-law.
Okay, if
So-
she's qualified and competent, I don't understand her application.
But I'm saying-
resume.
but that's-
See, because here's the thing,
But
here's the thing
that's
about
not
that.
fair. And I
I
know.
understand what you're saying about that, but see, here's the thing about that is, we're living in a small, we're living in a small town.
But this not.
You're gonna have people who, I mean, we got 2 Millers, we got 2 Valleys. I mean, so that's what I'm saying, I don't think that means anything, as long as they have qualifications.
If I may.
That's where I'll be checking qualifications.
Okay.
That's why I
Okay.
do
So
think.
now if it's an issue with the qualifications, then yeah, we need to have that conversation.
And
If an incompetent person
Well,
who happens to have the same name gets in a job, then no, they shouldn't be there. But if they're competent and that person wants to hire them, then why can't?
I'm just saying this.
If I may.
Okay, go ahead.
There's no nepotism clause for municipalities, and the city of Helena-West Helena doesn't have one. Period.
That's cool. I mean,
And as it relates to that issue, that is part of the reason why the city clerk is constantly reminding us of relationships and the fact that we need to have ordinances for conflict of interest, et cetera, so that people can know who's doing business with the city.
I agree.
But as it relates to nepotism is specifically excluded for municipalities because most municipalities, as Dr. Miller was beginning to state, most are very small, and you're gonna run into situations where you're gonna have brother, sister, husband, wife, and other people, because you have limited amount of people in the community. And then they may have some services that only certain people can provide. Be that as it may, part of the issue, and I'm not trying to cast aspersions on anyone in the administration, but that was a conversation, and the conversation that was not plenary information given as to how the advertisement is supposed to go. I mean, it's just that simple.
Okay.
And I'll leave it at this.
That's fair.
This is where I leave it. You have somebody that would like to apply for this job. Now, I'm a new mayor here. This is my 2nd year. I had to get somebody to teach me the ropes, just like you all need to have somebody teach you all the ropes. And by me sitting on the city council, I had some knowledge, but not all knowledge, but I had to get somebody to help me learn the ropes. But if you got, but I sat here where Ms. Harris sat, and I moved to the front of the table. What about that you were faced after the fact that somebody in that department said, "Hey, I'm a male. I didn't get a chance to apply for this job." Then said, "Oh, you've been hiring women." Then it comes up to a discrimination.
I understand.
Because you got to look at what people are looking at. So if you give anything, if you want to be fair, I'm just going to tell you this, what I've said, we need to move on to water, but you all can handle this issue. But you do what you all want to do. But I think we need to look at the whole big picture. So whatever motion it is, there is. I'm not against anybody. I want to be fair.
Yes,
Because Mr. Valley and Mr. Ethel are going to speak later about the lawsuit we settled last week. So we can, whatever you all decide, I'm pleased with it.
I think there was a motion and a second on the floor. Is that correct, Madam Clerk?
Nope.
I don't know who the second was.
Yeah, who made the most?
There was no motion.
Motion was from me. Motion was from me to waive on this one time to waive the.
Mr. Miller
as
moves.
stated, that option is in the ordinance, blah, blah. Some, or rule, some.
I think the motion was on the floor to
We
the
voted.
salary.
So need a motion for the salary?
We haven't even gotten to that yet. I mean, is that,
Did y'all vote on
would
that?
that be stated as a separate?
On the salary?
We talked about it. So that was I'll second his motion.
Mr. Ethel is second the motion. Any discussion?
Read the motion.
that declare a one-time waiver for this position. And then asking that we fought, the city attorney asked that we follow the policies henceforth.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk?
Dr. Miller,
Yes, please.
Mr. St. Columbia, Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Etherly,
Yeah.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
6 yes.
Yeah, I think you all need to discuss the salary. So do you want to give a dollar more?
Typically with new hires, we would discuss base pay as much as is stated. However, because as a state statute, the state statute would be controlling. And the state statute says that the deputy clerk cannot make more money than the chief clerk. And so anything above what the deputy clerk's salary is would be sufficient and it would not have to go through the base pay. The base pay typically is in operation for 6 months. But as it relates to this particular position, the statute that's quoted, Arkansas Code annotated 1617-106B1. The clerk has to make more money than the next deputy.
What is the wishes of the body?
Y'all, it's gotta be
I didn't know
done.
my hands on this one.
It's gotta be done. We don't, I mean, do we have,
Yeah.
I mean,
Judge Carter's memo is asking for starting salary of 42,000.
we can make it
The previous
a
person
dollar
was,
more or whatever, but.
salary was higher.
previous person was 45 or 46. The minimum has to be 40,020. His request is 42. Somewhere in that, right? Ms. Davis says 41. That's her motion. I'll second.
Ms. Davis moved
I'll
for
third it.
41. Mr. Ether seconds the motion. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia,
Mayor,
Dr. Miller.
Yes.
6 yes.
I'm sorry. The judge had a second ordinance, it's related to the city of Elaine and that district court. We currently have an agreement with Phillips County, an interlocal agreement, and this pretty much mirrors the one with Phillips County, but it's specific to the city of Elaine. I don't know if you all had a chance to review this.
I have.
And
It starts on page 7.
it's parcel, yes, it's page 7 of 31. The interlocal agreement will be for the purpose of city of Elaine conducting its district court. The division of Elaine division of the Phillips County District Court being held in this courtroom here versus in Elaine. And the clerk would be here and Elaine would pay a portion of the salary.
So does this mean that Elaine would no longer be paying the whole salary, or are we already paying a portion of the salary?
Well, in section 8, which is on page 9,
Okay.
it lays out it says the current salary of the chief district court clerk is 42,000. Not including benefits. The current salary of the deputy clerk is 36,000. What's it, 878, not including benefits.
Okay.
City pays $407 per month, $4,884 annually for every employee's health insurance, and the city's payment to APRS is 15.32%. An employee's salary, in addition to APRS and ARML health coverage, the city paid FICA. And so he has a breakdown as to what will be paid. It says the current rate, the city of Elaine agrees to pay 5% of the 44,785.30. The current annual amount to be paid as reimbursement from the city of Elaine to the city of Helena-West Helena is $2,239.27.
Okay, so I guess what I'm asking is, I'm confused. What do we pay now and what will we be paying in this new agreement?
What I think what he's saying is he's gonna use the existing clerks, and they're gonna pay a portion of their salaries with their salary and have court up here.
The city of Elaine will make a contribution towards their salaries for the additional work that they would do for the city of Elaine docket.
Okay.
Which I think Elaine has court once a month, so they don't have a really big docket.
And so,
So as it relates to the chief deputy clerk, you weren't here when we did the contract. We reached an agreement with the county for us to pay, city to pay half and the county to pay half.
okay,
Because they're city employees, the city pays everything, then we're reimbursed by the county for the one half. And what Judge Carter was suggesting is doing 5% of one employee to do the additional stuff for Elaine docket. Elaine docket is very small. And he desired to have the court here in our courtroom for efficiency, and they've agreed to do so. And so with their contribution, they were actually to just pay 5% of one employee's salaries. It's my understanding, this is not a new hire, but another employee. It's
Just one minor correction. The city attorney said chief deputy clerk, but I think he meant chief district court clerk.
Okay.
Not the deputy. The person whose
chief district
salary,
court clerk, yes.
the person
I'm
whose
sorry.
salary you just said at 41,000.
Right.
so they're just offering to pay 5% of a previous existing person's salary.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Is there
Any
any other
questions?
opinions that you have about the, I don't know what you call it, merger, or I don't know what you call it.
Sir?
I don't know what you call it, merger or them moving here, the move or anything. I was on that.
Well, this, as I said, this is very similar to what we did with the county as relates to the chief.
Okay.
Chief clerk, and that's one thing we didn't consider when we did the salary, that the county does pay a portion of their salary.
Okay.
Because the chief deputy, the county to pay part of their salary. I mean, the chief clerk. So what the judge was asking is that the city approve this agreement, authorize the mayor to sign this agreement.
I'd like to make that.
Mr. Miller makes the motion to approve this recommendation. Is there a second? Mr. Clement seconds the motion. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mr. St. Columbia?
Yeah.
Mr. Etherly?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Dr. Miller?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
6 yes.
So,
Yeah.
on to your routine business, our city treasurer tonight.
Mr. Allen, can we see Mr. Edwards like tax back?
I'm about to, I was gonna dispense with some of this other stuff so we can be down the agenda, but yeah, Mr. Turner's not here, so we're not gonna deal with the budget. Mr. Lamar has moved to another time period. The conflict ordinance, tourism appointments, and memorial sign ordinances are not in your packet. So we got hospital sale, if you wanna come back to that, and then we have minutes. Then you have a resolution in your packet that was received recently. And Mr. John Edwards is here and he can explain it. It's a tax back resolution. I done got my pages out of order.
I gave my copy to the mayor. You gave my copy.
But I saw it.
Oh. What page is on?
Oops.
6 of 31.
It's page 6 of 31.
Okay, Mr. Edwards, if you would come forward on your tax back.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This has been a bit of a journey to get here tonight. But the good news is that an existing company here in the city, NORAC, is planning on doing an expansion of their plant. And there will also be some additional jobs with that. The expansion is wanting to take advantage of a program that the state has, that this council has adopted many times before. It's called the Tax Back Program. It's one of the economic incentive tools. It's a partnership between the city and the state and everyone in between. And essentially, it will give a tax rebate on sales tax for any building materials that are not otherwise exempt from sales tax or equipment that is a part of this expansion. I will need to see as time goes on what the final dollar amount of this expansion will be, but I believe that it will be somewhere north of $15 million. And one of the things, Mayor, I think you and I discussed quite some time ago, that why this project has taken a little while. I was called in to the office of the NORAC folks a little over a year ago when they were considering this this expansion. And their question to me was, do you believe that the city can get to the point where the water will be more reliable? And I told them that I think we've got some fits and struggles ahead, but I think that we can do it. And the reason why I think we can do it is because we're sitting here on a lot of source water in this region. Not everyone has that. So they've had enough confidence to move forward with this expansion and with some additional jobs. And you know, tax back doesn't deal with jobs, it deals with building materials and taxes. You know, they get tax rebates for what they spend. But I know there will be some jobs added to this. Same resolution will be considered before the quorum court. But I think it's a good thing for the city to do. And I hope we have some other opportunities this year to consider them. So Mayor, that's my presentation.
Is there a motion to bring this tax back? Approve the resolution.
What's the number?
9.
Resolution number 9.
So.
Ms. Davis moved to approve resolution number 9. Mr. St. Columbus seconds the motion. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Ms. Harris,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony,
Yes.
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia,
Yes.
Dr. Miller,
Yes, ma'am.
6 yes.
Resolution is passed. You have some minutes in your packet, and you may have just seen those this afternoon. And so I don't know if you want to try to read through them and deal with them tonight, or you want to deal with them on your regular meeting in August. Your next meeting is next week. We have that public hearing and then a meeting on your sewer rates and your water rates. And what I've tried to do, and the clerk, is to make sure that meeting is singular as it relates to the water and sewer department. And there's a
We have a hearing before the next meeting, right?
it starts at 5:30. Yes, sir. And then the meeting starts at as soon as the hearing ends or at 6 o'clock, whichever occurs last, I guess. And then on the Legendary Blues Fest, Mr. Mayor, I don't know if you want to do anything on that or how you want to deal with that. That's where they're requesting assistance on security
And cleanup.
and security and cleanup.
We'll table it. We want to try to
Okay, now the festival occurs the last weekend in August, like August 31st or something. I can't remember. Okay, and then the last two items on the agenda is the well update and the leak update. And Mr. Saeed Rose is in class. He's trying to get his license, such that he can be fully licensed to operate, water and sewer in our departments. On the well, the guys have been out sometimes at night with lights on out there working. They're continuing to work on the well, whatever that construction is called, they're doing that. I don't have a date certain as to when they'll be complete. And the leak repair, I know we probably repaired over 30 leaks. We had about 50, and they're steadily working on that, and including city employees, contractors, and others. And the major update on the well would be the action that the city attorney took in response to the city council's authorization to move forward with eminent domain. And so I don't know if the city attorney wants to add anything to that.
Yes, I'll address that. As it relates to the eminent domain, the mayor has been in contact with the Phillips County Boys and Girls Club and are trying to negotiate a lower amount from the $25,000. It's suggested, as you all have been apprised, that 900 square feet that we're asking for, in addition, 100-foot radius around the 900 square feet, and 2 easements for ingress and egress with access to the well. Those communications broke down Monday, well, yesterday. We filed an eminent domain lawsuit. We obtained service today, going forward. And today I filed a motion to interplead. The $10,000 you are approved. The issue is the United States Constitution said we cannot take property without just compensation. And the eminent domain lawsuit is about the public's interest in the property versus the person's private rights. And it's well documented that we need this property to move forward, and that the city needs this well for, when I said we, I was talking about the citizens. The city needs this well to operate the water utility property. And so at this point, what we're doing is, as soon as I've submitted an order to the court to ask for us to interplead the money. What that means is the city has offered to just pay $10,000 into the treasury, and we pay $10,000 to the circuit court's clerk treasury. Then they would hold it until there's a determination made as to the value of the property. I've had numerous conversations with a certified appraiser. We do not have a commercial appraiser in Phillips County. So I've been talking to an appraiser named David Jacobs from Stuttgart, and he's come down, looked at the property, he's come down again, and he's trying to get us appraisal by next week. He thought he could have it by this week, but he has not completed it. In the eminent domain, we're asking that anything above the fair market value that be returned to the city. But we are trying to get an order in it so that the court would order the Boys and Girls Club step aside, and for all the construction to be finished, and we decide us in the end, and we pay them what the property's worth and bring it to a resolution. The reason why the mayor's been communicating with them is to see if we can resolve it without going forward with all that. But we have to keep moving. We're moving like, I don't have any hair, but we're moving like our hair is on fire. But that's where we are. And we're trying to exercise due diligence and trying to get this done, because we take this matter very serious. Now, as it relates to the water, I want to remind the body that we had to have an engineer within 90 days of the entry of the consent administrative order. Since consent administrative orders will be in it on the 25th. And so we had to have the engineer in place. And also, we need the people with all the licenses in place within 90 days of that date. I will submit you all a copy by email tomorrow once I get the order from the judge. Hopefully I get the order from the judge tomorrow. As soon as I get the email, I'll send you all a copy of the documents that I filed so forth, so you can review them and go forward. But thank you all for your approval for the $10,000 cash bond. And we're trying to move forward and get it done as diligent as possible. The engineer, Mr. Weiland, he attached the affidavit to our petition to discuss the urgency of it. we're not trying to be in an adversarial position with the Boys and Girls Club, but this lawsuit is necessary.
Yeah.
And we encourage people to support the Boys and Girls Club. But at this point, because we cannot come to an agreement, we have to move forward. The city doesn't have a choice because the city needs this property and we need this well.
And you can't get a permit to operate the well
Correct.
without fee simple ownership of the 30 by 30 piece of ground.
Well, it's two requirements. One, we need to have fee simple, thank you, Chief of Staff. We have to have fee simple ownership of the 30 by 30 plot. And we also have to have the easement approved for the Department of Health for the radius, the wellhead protection radius, because we have to have the well protected so nothing can get in it. So it's two things that are mandatory before the well can begin to operate.
So with the easement part, in eminent domain, that would actually require Boys and Girls Club to also give them the easement as well. Cause that was the
Yes.
thing. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. Cause I was thinking, you know, so you're gonna have the actual property, but then they're gonna need to set up, they're gonna need to put their trucks on there and stuff. And, you know, they come around and say, oh, well, you can't get on our property. We're gonna charge you $1,000 every time you come park on our property. But the easement will take care of that? Is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's an easement coming from both directions.
Okay, good.
And that's a wellhead protection radius of 100 feet around the 30 by 30 plot.
Good.
To protect it.
Okay.
So yes, sir, all that's a part of the eminent domain that we're requesting all of that.
And wellhead protection is actually the opposite of what it sounds like. It's an invisible thing. It means nothing can encroach on that. You can't park cars, you can't put up unnecessary obstructions and things of that nature.
Yes, sir.
So there got to be 100 by 100 feet clearance around the well. That's what wellhead protection is.
Okay.
Just
So not just
FYI.
a well, but it's a clearance of space around it.
Right.
Okay, that's perfect.
But we just have to own the 900 square feet, but the rest of it has to be clear.
Okay.
Right.
Which at this point is mostly baseball field. It's baseball field on one side and the other, and then soccer field on the other. So it's,
But the eminent domain will push for easement as well?
yeah, it
Yes.
includes the easement.
There are 3 easements included in the lawsuit, and we're asking for fee simple for the 30 by 30.
We got a couple of questions.
Yes.
I'm not asking for specifics, but are we any closer in negotiations than we were, say, a day or so ago?
Any closer than the last transmission you sent out, Mayor?
Yeah.
Well-
I guess after they were served, they got quiet. But I think the last thing they wanted was before they got served was $5,000 water bill for a year. And I sent you all of them corresponding before.
So from 25 to 5?
Oh,
No, it was $10,000.
10,000.
3 years.
Okay,
3 years.
Right.
I just,
Okay.
so, and then after they got served, the message came, that's okay.
Well, that's way closer. From 25 to 10.
Well, but, you know.
But we still need to find out the
But
value.
you're asking for free water.
There's nothing to stop the city from continuing to negotiate with
Sure.
the Boys and Girls Club. The reason why, just to be candid, yesterday the mayor was continuing to negotiate, but as city attorney, I don't have the time to continue to wait. I had to file and get them served because time is of the essence. And so I think once they were served with the lawsuit is when they said, well, let's stop talking.
This just got
but-
cold.
But the issue is the city is still open to negotiate with the Boys and Girls Club.
Absolutely.
We don't want to be in an adversarial position, but we have to be adversarial to the extent that we have to protect the citizens of the city of Helena-West Helena. And if the mayor wants to continue to negotiate, he's freely open to negotiate with them. We just need resolution. We need the deeds. And that's where we are.
And I continue to reach out to the Boys and Girls Club, but as the city attorney said, we have to move quickly on this. So there's no hard feeling. The city supports the Boys and Girls Club, but we have to move quickly on this issue.
I left one thing out. The motion that I filed today was for not just to interplead the money, for the immediate possession of the land so that we could have an order saying, keep going. To get it done. So I want to clear that up as well.
And that fair market value is pretty much after the appraiser has said what it's worth. And
Right. And they have the right to hire their own appraiser and disagree with or dispute with us about what the fair market value is.
I think that's fair then. They come out, their people appraise if they do, and then we have the appraiser come and praise, and they say this is what it's worth.
I mean, I don't. They understand if we don't have water, they won't have water either, don't they?
They want you, they want your water.
I mean, I understand, but it's the boys and girls, they depend on the goodwill of the community to support them. And I just necessarily wouldn't want to be in between the community and its water when I have land that they can get water from. And we want to give them fair market value for, we're not taking anything without paying for it. But we don't want to pay 100 times the value because you happen to have water on your land. I mean, anyway.
I think one of the things that for the sake of the public, we should digest this. The mayor, me, and Ken Weiland, that's the engineers for the project, we went to the Boys and Girls Club 6 or 8 weeks ago. And Ken laid out the dire need. He brought his plans. He told them in detail what the consequences would be if we do not have this well. He put that in his affidavit as well. And so for the public's sake, Mr. Weiland had looked around and we tried to find other sites. He explained to them that he tried to find other sites, but this was the best site. It was the most feasible site. And there's a various factors from environmental and engineering standpoint that this is the place where it has to go. And so this isn't something that the city is trying to just say, I'm coming to Boys and Girls Club and take your property. But part of it had to do with the site being so close to our current water utility and where the other wells are located and the pipes and et cetera. And then there's an easement that's already there on the property, and a pipe that's already there on the property. So there were numerous factors that went into it, and they were explained in detail by Mr. Weiler to the Boys and Girls Club board. And the CEO, they were there, and the mayor and I were there. We were there to answer any questions they had. And we told them at that point the time was of the essence and that we needed a decision quickly. And we would like to be good citizens mutually. And the city is willing to help them to the extent that we can, but we need this property.
Right. And but let me say, is that it for Mr. Valley?
I think so. Well,
Yeah, I got something. There are several things that we kind of need to act on tonight. I got some things I need y'all to listen to me on and join with me on because we need to do this. You know, as ever being mayor of this great city, I want these water projects to move forward. So I'm petitioning you all to join me and to support these outlining goals for our water utility system. It doesn't include everything, but it's a step in moving in the right direction for our community. As some of you know, you heard from the last meeting that our water infrastructure money is being awarded. But we need to put the city in a position to be able to receive some of these funds. We definitely have the need for our failings in water infrastructure. The things that there are things that our government officials must do. First, our goal tonight is to have additional meetings following, provide detailed information. Goal 1, we must hire an engineer quickly in order to qualify to meet the August 1st application deadlines for loan forgiveness of $11 million in part. The city has advertised for RFQ and the qualification engineering firms deadline was submitted on May 28th. After research, I found out that in the case of procurement, the project to project depends on specific details of owners of the project. There are no requirements for the natural resource division requirements. Specific procedure procurement such as recipient must advertise the bid statewide for at least 2 weeks. So we have done that. So and then it says, let me go to my other notes. It says publishing on at least one newspaper having a general posted by the state electronic media or this is two shall be given notice to include general description of the commodities, technical and general service of professional and consultation service to be provided. So, two, we need to move to complete the water compliance plan by August 1st. NRC funding application by September 6, 2024. If you want me to shoot for complete these water plans must be, with a plan, the application must be completed. 3, complying and accepting guides from the Arkansas Department of Health in effort to comply with the consent decree. We must continue to work toward fixing the areas of weakness and the violation in our water system. We must utilize the resources and the agents who are willing to help us. This is based on the criteria like I'd like for the Madam Clerk to reveal the RFQs from May 28th. The RFQs that we received on May 28th. I'd like her to give you all that so we can see what we can do with that tonight.
Bring it in here.
Yes.
Okay.
The RFQ so we can open it tonight to see who's doing. For the engineer. For the engineer. This is the engineer. And the RFQ is sealed, so you all be seeing it at the same time that I'll be seeing it.
Then when we wait on that, we go to a different topic.
Yes, so we're gonna go to a different topic. We're gonna come back to this because we need to.
I just handed y'all 2 different letters from the Friday law firm, Friday Eldridge and Clark law firm, from attorney Ryan Bowman. There are 2 different engagement law firms for projects relating to the landfill. One is a letter, and they both dated July the 16th. I asked them to send them a letter on the letterhead. Mr. Wilson has told you all, Mr. Reginald Wilson has told you all of the projects they're trying to get done relating to the landfill. And there are 2 different bonds that they're working on. And one letter is a letter of engagement for the Friday law firm for the landfill bond purchase by the Department of Agri and Rural Development. And there has to be in the record that the city approved hiring of the bond counsel for that. A second letter is a letter of engagement Friday law firm for Arkansas Natural Resources Bond to be purchased by Arkansas Development and Finance Authority, or ADFA, under the Drinking Water State Revolving Loan Fund. So there were 2 different things that we need to engage the Friday law firm on, and they're relating to bonds. And we just need the council to approve those letters of engagement so that you will have retained counsel, bond counsel, for those 2 financial transactions. You move to approve both of them or individually? Both. Yeah, okay. So Ms. Elson's motion is approve both letters of engagement and authorize the mayor to sign both letters of engagement relating to the Friday law firm for both the items that I presented, and it was second by Ms. Davis, Mrs. Davis. Okay.
There's a motion and second on the floor.
Yes, to retain the Friday law firm.
To
on
retain
lead.
the Friday law firm. Any discussion? That comes across the road.
St. Columbia.
Yeah.
Harris.
Yes.
Dr. Miller.
Yes.
Sanders. Yes. Ms. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Etherly.
Yes.
6 years.
Okay, so motion passes. So there are 2, Mr. Valentine, Mr. Anthony, you want to come forward? There are 2 RFQs from one local.
Say what? Those are what?
RFQs.
In response to what? But they're in response to the one that's pending, they're not due until the 22nd.
So this
It's
is
the
the
28th,
response to the
28th.
first one that went out.
This is a response to what?
To the first RFQ that was.
The one that was only in the Daily World?
Uh-huh.
I don't think you can use the one that was only in the Daily World.
I remember.
Let me step out the way.
Members of the council, I would just like to make a couple of points today. First, I want to go back to an enforcement hearing that I was one of the attendees and a witness of in Little Rock with the Arkansas Department of Health. I thought the city attorney did a very able job of telling the city's position. And for the members of the council's understanding, you know, this enforcement hearing was on a consent decree that the Arkansas Department of Health is taking the city to get involved with. A recommendation was made by the staff to this subcommittee that the subcommittee accept the suspension of some fines. But what we're really talking about here is that there have been some past violations. They have to be corrected, and they can be corrected. If they're not corrected, I think we're going to be in a very precarious situation with our water system. And I have a few quick points. The first point is that, Mayor, you mentioned, and I will be real plain about this, you mentioned a deadline coming up for loan forgiveness.
Right.
Last week, you had Jackie Mills give me a call, and I talked to her about this loan forgiveness program. And there's certain deadlines that have to be met with the Arkansas Natural Resources Commission to have a shot at it. And please be clear, council, I'm not the state. I don't guarantee this stuff, but I do know if you miss certain deadlines, you'll never have a shot. And there was a deadline that was this past Monday to get what they called on the priority project list. And there was a deadline to get on what they called the pre-application list with the WAC committee, the Water Advisory Committee. It's a state committee made up of state and federal agencies that help fund water projects. Ms. Mills submitted these forms, and to the best of my knowledge, she got everything in. So the city of Helena-West Helena passed the first gate to get a chance at loan forgiveness. There's a gate on August the 1st, and it's about water plan compliance. And Mayor, you know, forgive me tonight, I don't know what all that entails, okay? But I know that deadline is coming up fast. The deadline I do know, September the 6th, an application has to be due to the Arkansas Natural Resources Commission. If you miss that deadline, we're out of this opportunity for another year. Now, we should have been on a list last week, several days ago, for $3.9 million in grant funding. And we weren't on that list because we didn't have the engineer done. Now, that was tough news to hear. And please listen very carefully what I'm about to say right now, because I do not want to be misquoted. While that money is gone, if the city will take all the actions to move forward, get stellar people all the way, there may be a chance that down the road in the coming months, some of that money, that 3.9, we might have another bite at that apple. And the way that could happen is that there's this money that the Natural Resources Commission had was money that came, it was ARPA fund money, American Rescue Act money. There is a chance, and I have no idea how good of the chance is, but there is a chance as some of these projects that have been approved move forward. If some of them drop out down the road, if some of them have a little bit of money left over, Helena-West is still on the list. Just today, there's no money in the checkbook, but if some money came back from some of these projects, it would really be a shame if the city was not ready to move immediately to take care of that. The final thing I'll say is that, and this is my opinion, and the city attorney asked me to testify during that enforcement hearing, and I did, and I was glad to do it. I do think that the health department will work with the city, but their patience has a limit. Their patience has a limit. We have a very solvable problem. You've got a young man tonight, Mr. Saeed Rose. He's working on getting his licenses. I think they'll work with the city as long as they see projects. And Mr. City Attorney, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the things that the subcommittee added to their recommendation was that they wanted quarterly reports from the city back to the health department. If you're putting positive things, and again, I don't speak for the health department either. I'm just someone, though, who's done this stuff my whole career. I know how folks work. Okay. I've done it. I've sat in those chairs. I know the questions they're going to be asked. I know the questions they're going to ask. And if you can start documenting that you've made this progress, you're going to do well in meeting up with this consent decree, and you're going to bolster confidence in this community. If you don't, then whatever happens down the road, we have no one to blame but ourselves. Thank you.
And we have too.
What's those from?
My problem from what's those from?
That's what I was asking. What are those?
It says required for RP conflict engineer supported for the public projects attached. It just didn't.
So which RFQ is this one funding, I'm asking?
It didn't. This one doesn't say.
That's the first one that was put out.
Well, if this the first one, if this it was received on the 28th, so it said. See, RFQ call for engineering supporting services. It says on-call engineering and supporting services for public projects attached to electronic copy for the SOQ for the Smith and Wiley Engineering Surveying Company. The three hard copies of the SOQ have been delivered to the clerk's office.
Okay.
So.
Okay, please take a qualification. There was initially this is responsible to the first. There have been two requests for qualifications that have been published. One was published in the Daily World for on-call engineering services, and that was done in May. There's a second been published in Jackson newspaper. This is Marion Claire Ledger and the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. And the Daily World. And the Daily World. I think that one is the deadline is the 25th.
Yeah,
Well, next Monday.
22nd.
22nd.
But it said
Whatever next Monday is.
but it said we didn't have. It said we just as long as we advertise it locally. So
Now, the one that was published in the Daily World, it was broad and it covers on call. You just hire somebody on call to do whatever the city decides for it to do. The engineer firm. And that was published in Data World twice.
Right.
The mayor has exclusive right to enter all contracts and award all bids.
I think you have the ability to accept it. If you need a motion, I'll move that you accept those that have been, the responses that have been submitted.
A second.
Motion second on the floor, in discussion? Madam Clerk?
Ms. Davis,
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia,
Yeah.
Dr. Miller,
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Harris,
Yes,
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Ms. Miller,
Yes.
Anything else? Anything else?
There's some other things on it. You got leak repair update?
We done all that. We through with the agenda. Y'all just talking now.
Okay. We got a notice on the 24th, there's gonna be another watershed meeting. They're publishing, Arkansas Black Mayors are publishing things now. You should see it on Facebook. But they're setting up another watershed meeting. I just saw it just a minute ago for my phone.
Yeah, and New Haven Church is having a prayer visual out here August 5th. So anybody wants to be in that can be there.
Where?
Right here in the front and put out.
Now, where's the watershed meeting?
It's gonna be a central.
Central Auditorium.
On 24.
I guess we're just gonna open it.
Two meetings.